So we're walking up on my little free lease here, place that I call Dell's because that's the name of the fellow who owns it. And this is a perennial hay pasture with a really resilient sod that they allow me to do whatever I want, and I can only manage so much of it. But this is the chunk that I've been working on, and obviously pretty good sorghum crop. Oh, there's more cowpea in here than I've got in my other locations. I'm confident that this soil is going to disc much easier. A lot of seed head. I'm late. There's no question about it. I'm late. It would have been much better. Like, this is the spot right here. That head right there is in the boot stage. That's the maximum. That's the balance between, I can hear something flying around in there, jumping. The boot stage is the balance between highest nutrition and highest volume. You know, if we went a little earlier, if we harvested that a little earlier, before the seed head emergence, like this one, the boot has not opened. Okay? So that seed head is in here, but it's not peeled open. So there's more nutrition in this. That's like your perfect window to maximize quality and quantity. Now right here where we've got I believe they call it a fluorescence or inflorescence, this has dropped a lot of nutritional value because it's that late in its development. I think that the 10 to 20% seeded out would be like a really premium place to harvest. But what are you going to do? I mean, I can barely manage my life at all, and I'm running around like a fool all the time and just not really in control. Now, I don't really recognize whatever this weed or grass head is. I don't think I planted it, and I've not seen it here before, which indicates that it came in the seed bed. Now this, I believe that's a tall fescue. So this paddock here was mostly tall fescue, reed canary, and orchard grass. I don't remember what this is, this foxtail looking thing, but I've not seen it here before. Now, I did plant sunflower, but what we determined is that the sunflower was not, it was an oilseed sunflower. It was for bird feed. So my friend Marty, customer Marty, friend Marty, good guy, I love the guy. Marty bought, he bought a variety of seed for us to do his food plots. And when we bought the sunflower seed at the co-op, it was like, hey, is this a feed seed or is it a grow sunflower seed? And they were like, well, we sell it as a feed, but some customers say it grows sunflowers. Well, it turns out that, you know, it's really kind of a sterile sunflower or a sterile seed, and occasionally you'll get one or two, but it's not going to grow sunflowers like you see a field full of sunflower. Now, what is a little bit surprising is that I did plant a pretty good mixture of stuff in here, but the sorghum completely dominated. This is the tallest sorghum that I have anywhere, which is great. It's telling me that this soil fertility is really climbing, because this stuff is way over my head. I'm standing right here. That's 10 foot. I mean, that's a cane, like a corn stalk, you know. You switch like a switch to whoop your kid with right there. So I'm actually getting a little intimidated. You can tell a lot of deer are walking through the back corner here. I'm getting a little intimidated because cutting this is going to be daunting. Like, I'm not going to be able to cut that with a scythe. I think I'm going to have to do it with a clearing saw, you know, a weed whacker with a... I think I'm going to have to do it with a clearing saw, just like a bike saw, a trimmer, you know, a weed whacker with handlebars and a saw blade on the end, which is normally what I use over here. So yeah, we're gonna have to do that, and I'm gonna have to run it through a wood chipper and shovel it into my enclosed trailer, and then pack it into a bunker with plastic. Now this is my check strip. So right here, I didn't get crazy with disking. I didn't do any plowing, no tilling at all, no bottom plow. This area has previously been bottom plowed. So this rectangle down in here has been bottom plowed, which broke up the sod, and then I ran a overwinter cool season cover crop and then plowed it again, and it was much softer. Like this area where it had grown a cover crop was much softer than where it had not. Now this was just that regular sod, and I just ran a disc through it just enough to get the seed disturbance, and I'm pretty surprised at how well the sorghum smothered the hay grass. So that's really great. That tells me that when I want to eradicate hay grass, all I need to do is kill it with sorghum. Just heavy sorghum will shade it to death. And then I'll have all this biomass, which, I mean, if it's 10 feet tall, how deep do you think it tills to get the mineral out of the ground? It's pretty darn deep. So that means I've got a lot of mineral pulled up to the top. If I disc this in and let it mulch down, well, I'm gonna have a pretty good topsoil in a year or two. And particularly the difficult thing about this ground for me was how resilient the sod is. It's just been cut. It's just been cut for hay by somebody else, this portion up here. But for me to terminate it was, I don't want to spray. I don't want to till. Well, how do you get rid of a 50-year-old stand of freaking fescue? Come on. That's not an easy task. The only thing that I did that has not happened is right up in here. I planted some switchgrass. I just ran the disc, scratched it in a little bit, but I had some switchgrass from the experiment station. University Experiment Station has a 3 or 4 year trial on like Midwest switchgrass from the Great Plains or prairie or whatever. And I had pulled seed heads off it and had them sitting around. I figured, oh, I'll try to put some switchgrass in here and see what happens, but it's been mowed off with the hay, so I don't know if it grew or if it didn't. But yeah, this is my best crop. I know it's not much to look at, but you got to start somewhere. And hey, God provides the increase, you know. Praise the Lord.